Hi skill beings, this video is just to understand the psychology and behavioral characteristics of two different character representations in a storytelling scenario. We are discussing in relation with the perspective of real world we all live in. So don't take this video literally, it's just to analyze and understand why anti-heroes are more popular in storytelling. That being announced, let's roll the intro. A hero is a person who does the right thing for the right reason. Every time. One who is always sure of what the right thing is and never hesitates, is never tempted. In short, boring and predictable. Take Superman for example, a paragon of virtue, yet in order to him to be interesting, they have to pit him against Batman. And why are heroes in the classical sense boring? Because most of us can't relate to them. Because every one of us has been tempted to do the wrong thing, and many of us have, possibly on multiple occasions. That's why Spiderman's origin story is considered to be more realistic. A teenager gets bitten by a radioactive spider, gains super strength, super agility, etc., and immediately tries to cash in by becoming a professional wrestler. That's real, that's relatable. Selfish people reflect who we feel we are, and that's why anti-heroes have our interest. Someone who's not perfect, someone who's not an overgrown Boy Scout, someone who knows temptation, pain, anger, fear. Because we've come to realize that in the real world, even the heroes are flawed. And so we reject perfect movie heroes as unrealistic. But what is the main difference between a hero and an anti-hero? Well, anti-heroes have the balls, literally and figuratively, to say what we all would like to say and do what we'd all like to do. They don't have the morals that most in the mass audience have. If they are wronged, they don't go to the law. If they are flawed, they don't try to atone and apologize for it. They are who they are and do as they wish. In turn, cinema is escapism, fantasy and role-playing at its best. So when we go into the theatre and lights go down, we can become those characters. Not in real life, if not just for 2 hours. Thus, with an anti-hero film, we get to live vicariously through them for a couple of hours. Cheer with them and then enter the real world with our morals intact. Heroes in the folkloric sense act as embodiments of the cultural norms and expectations. This hero does what all of us in our society ought to do. Hero narratives, in fact, remain the major means of instructing society at large about the ethics and the values of our society. Anti-heroes challenge that paradigm, the paradigm of society, and propose that the ethics of a society may be too restrictive or deserve to be challenged. To go further, there are hosts that argue that anti-heroes are simply heroic variations proposed by a subsection of the larger society. That subsection may have this personal avatar of its own vision of the society's true nature. In a way, anti-heroes can be seen as mutations on the DNA of a culture. The culture which has been distorted from inside, an incomplete thing. They may persist and grow more numerous and eventually affect the life path of the society in general. Or they may fade out or simply remain anomalous and lack impact. But the thing is, what are they choosing? Listen to the anti-hero. So I killed them. All 50 of them. Not because I liked it. Not because I enjoyed it. Not because I felt like it. But because I had to. Because no one else was willing to. It will haunt me, and I will remember it forever. But because of me, because of my actions, 30 million people made it home tonight. And that is all that matters to me. When seen in the perspective of hero, how he saves the people, if I killed him, I would be no different from him. There is always a way, a path to follow that does not require violence. The world is filled with people to which we could so desperately without, but we do not kill them. We have no right to decide who lives and who dies. All we can do is help them. Good and evil are relatively arbitrary concepts. Eating meat is good for me, but bad to the poor animals who are slaughtered for my salivating palates. Here is your traditional good guy hero, someone who wants to save everyone despite knowing it's an impossible dream. And here is the anti-hero whose ideals are heroic and noble, even if the method of execution is not. If they accomplish great good for the sacrifices of smaller evils, then they could be considered good. And if they accomplish minor good for the sacrifices of greater evils, then they are bad. It depends on what they do, rather than how they do it. This is how basically all anti-heroes are explained to us. First, by showing their origin, then what they faced, what they fixed in their mind, and then what they choose to be. K.G.F Chapter 2 is the best example to understand the hero versus an anti-hero storytelling. Also a Tamil movie Vikram-Vedha starring R. Madhavan and Vijay Sethupathi in lead roles. Let's first consider K.G.F Chapter 2. Our main protagonist, Rocky Bhai, is an anti-hero who has some ethics, a boundary line that he fixed in his mind to not cross. His origin. We all know what he faced from his childhood and his mother's sentiment that connects him towards his goals in life. What he chose. He chose to become the power that controls Bombay, then whole India. If seen from a hero's perspective, is it good? Hell no, it is bad. But still we audience support his beliefs just because we know what he faced in the past. And one thing to keep in mind that this is a movie that is fictionalized by using real events happened in the past. So this is basically escapism you are feeding to your brain, and entertainment. The things which you can't do in your real life but feel of doing so is shown here on big screen. So in K.G.F Chapter 2, our hero is an anti-hero, but our villain is a hero mindset who wants to clear all the crime and dirt from this country. But anti-hero character always overpowers the hero character because a hero is chose to work under some boundaries. Boundaries of ethics, morals, rules and regulations, principles. But anti-hero has no boundaries. The only boundary they have is their own preset boundaries like I won't harm any innocent or something like that. But anti-heroes have control over their boundaries. They set their own boundaries. Same goes in Vikram-Vedha where Vikram is the good cop, the badass good guy and Veda a criminal, the good bad guy. Both are similar to be on point but only difference is their boundaries. Also Vikram wants to clean the city whereas Veda wants to take revenge of his brother's death. But even after this many points, why heroes are always better than anti-heroes in long run? Because we all know that they always do the right thing. They might not be the greatest hero or the most legendary or even the most upright hero, but a hero is a person who always does his best to save everyone, to strive wrongs to right. Heroes give this world hope, a chance we all can count on, the better rise from the greatest fall in their life. Signing off, Skillbeings.